Your girl is gonna be okay, y'all. Okay? She's gonna be alright. She's gonna be alright. Shit. That was fucking terrifying. That was terrifying. That was a terrifying last 4 days. But your girl is gonna be alright.
Lil Nas X is making headlines again, but not for dropping a new hit, not for pulling off some viral TikTok move, and not even for turning heads at a red carpet with one of his over-the-top looks. No, this time it's way darker, way messier, and honestly, it's low-key tragic.
Hey, for everybody coming to the party!
The same kid who rode into fame on that horse with Old Town Road is now storming down Ventura Boulevard in nothing but cowboy boots, a pair of underwear he barely kept on, and straight-up chaos. And here's the kicker. That wild stunt didn't just go viral, it landed him in real trouble, with felony charges that could actually put him behind bars. This wasn't just some random meltdown caught on camera. Nah, this was years of controversy, trolling, and shock tactics finally blowing up in his face. Depending on who you ask, this whole thing looks like karma coming back around, or maybe a desperate cry for help, or maybe both at the same damn time. Either way, the spectacle was too insane to ignore. It all went down early Thursday morning, August 21st, right on Ventura Boulevard in Los Angeles. Drivers couldn't believe their eyes. Lil Nas X, real name Montero Hill, strutting through traffic nearly naked like he owned the boulevard, screaming out Nicki Minaj's legendary monster verse at the top of his lungs.
Nah. Hey, don't
up?
be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. Nah, go ahead, babe. Nah. Go ahead, babe. Nah. Didn't I tell you to put the phone down? Uh-oh, somebody's gonna have to pay for that. Yes. Yes, get my good side. Every side. Yes. Boom, cat, towel.
Witnesses said he wasn't just rapping, he was performing like it was Madison Square Garden, only his stage was the sidewalk and his outfit non-existent, because at one point he ditched the underwear too, leaving him completely exposed in public. And while a couple folks might have laughed at first, that energy flipped instantly when the cops pulled up on the scene. Suddenly it went from this is wild to this is serious in seconds. But here's where things went from shocking to downright dangerous. Reports say Lil Nas X didn't just resist arrest, he straight up charged at the cops. Not one, not two, but 3 officers walked away injured in that brawl, and that instantly flipped the script from a wild public stunt to a full-blown criminal case. Suddenly this wasn't rapper caught acting up in the street, it was rapper facing years behind bars. The LA County District Attorney wasted no time slapping him with 4 felony charges, 3 counts of battery with injury on police officers, and 1 count of resisting arrest. That's not a slap on the wrist. That's the type of case that can ruin a career overnight. Now here's the twist. Normally when a celebrity gets cuffed, the playbook is the same. A fancy lawyer shows up, bail gets posted, and the star is sipping cocktails at home before the mugshot even makes the news. But not this time. Cops weren't playing with him. They thought he might have overdosed, so instead of jail, they rushed him to the hospital first. After that, he got booked and thrown in a cell, and this wasn't some quick in and out. He actually had to sit there the whole weekend, locked up like any regular dude with no special treatment. No VIP pass, no phone call to skip the line, just cold bars and a jumpsuit. Come Monday morning, Lil Nas X finally faced the judge.
I think an OR bond is absolutely appropriate here.
Okay. And Mr. Rudy, did you want to be heard further?
Yeah.
Well, based on his conduct, being uncooperative with law enforcement, I think money bail is appropriate. We're going to set bail at $75,000, and if he makes that bail, he's ordered to not own, use, or possess any illegal narcotics, attend 4 NA meetings per week, or enroll in an outpatient drug program.
He didn't even fight the process. He waived the arraignment, pleaded not guilty, and still walked out with bail set at $75,000. But it didn't stop there. The court hit him with extra conditions tied to drugs, rehab check-ins, narcotics, anonymous meetings, the whole strict package. Basically, if he even breathes wrong around substances, he could be thrown right back in.
So, Mr. Hill, do you understand and accept those conditions?
Yes.
Okay. So be in Department 112 on September 15th at 8:30 in the morning if you're on bail at that time, and bring proof of the NA meetings at every appearance. If he talks to the bill, I'll go back about that.
Okay, perfect, and you can remain here hopefully to be released from here.
Yes, he won't be released immediately
Okay, great.
to the county jail.
If Lil Nas X actually gets convicted on every single charge, we're not talking about a slap on the wrist. We're talking up to 4 years locked away in prison. That's a career-halting sentence, the kind of time that makes sponsors vanish, fans switch sides, and headlines read like obituaries for a superstar's fame. And that's when the fan theories started spinning out of control. Some said this whole meltdown had to be tied to drugs, others whispered it was a mental health breakdown. But then came the loudest crowd. Online pastors and critics who claimed this was nothing but divine karma. They've been saying for years that Lil Nas X has been mocking God, and now in their eyes, Judgment Day finally caught up to him.
At first, when everyone was hearing about this, they were thinking that this was just some silly music promo because the videos of him walking in the street kind of felt on par with him doing very memeable things in the past. Plus, he had just wiped his entire Instagram and started posting what looked to be teasers to new music. Fans are anticipating the drop of his second album, Dream Boy, so they figured this must mean that it was coming soon. But now, things just seem way more serious about the situation that I don't think it's music promo.
Think back to 2021 when he shook the entire world with that infamous Montero Call Me By Your Name video. He slid down a stripper pole straight into the pits of hell, straddled Satan himself, and gave him a full-on lap dance. The church community exploded in outrage. Religious leaders called him blasphemous, groups begged for boycotts, and parents warned kids to stay away from his music. But Lil Nas X, he didn't flinch. He laughed, trolled harder, and turned that scandal into millions in sales. And instead of pulling back, he only went further. Earlier this year, he dropped J Christ, a track with imagery that critics blasted as straight-up mocking Jesus. The backlash was brutal. But once again, Lil Nas X leaned into the fire, making himself the center of attention while millions argued about him online.
Well, it looks like Hollywood ruined another celebrity. And now, this is an update with Lil Nas X. Now, he's been charged with 4 felonies for attacking and injuring cops. And it's just so sad. Like, he was popular back in, 2018, 2019. He was doing so good. And then now, he was found walking in the middle of the street at 4 a.m. in the morning, possibly OD'd. And all I have to say is just prayers to him and hope that he's okay mentally and physically. And this is definitely a very unfortunate case.
And how could anybody forget the chaos of the infamous Satan Shoes stunt? That collab with art collective MSCHF shook the culture. Lil Nas X dropped exactly 666 pairs of custom Nike Air Max 97s, black and blood red colorway, pentagram stitched in, upside down crosses stamped bold. And the wildest part? Each sneaker had a drop of actual human blood mixed with ink in the sole. That wasn't just marketing, that was shock value on steroids. Each pair went for over $1,000, and instead of sitting on shelves, they vanished in minutes, sold out instantly. The internet erupted. Some fans called it genius, some called it blasphemy, but Nike? They weren't laughing one bit. The brand came out swinging with a lawsuit, furious their logo was being tied to satanic imagery without permission. That moment locked in the idea that Lil Nas X wasn't just a pop star, he was making mocking religion part of his brand. For some, it was art. For others, it was straight up evil. And now, with this arrest making headlines, critics online are chanting the same thing over and over: God don't play about his name.
Lil Nas X was silently canceled, and that's what probably led to all this. So Lil Nas X was seen walking down the street in Los Angeles way early this morning in his white drawers, and then he attacked a cop. And then he was taken to the hospital for a psych eval, and then he was arrested and taken to jail. And the reason why I say that he was silently canceled is because, of course, Lil Nas X came out after he made his debut album. And then following that album, he released the song Montero, which he had a lot of symbolic shit in it. I mean, just everything was in that video. Then shortly after that, he had those little Nike Air Max shoes, which had a drop of human blood and the little air pocket part of it. And, a lot of people let that go. A lot of people supported Lil Nas X. They let it go. It was like, hey, it is what it is at that point. But then in 2024, he came out with a new music video called J Christ, in which he was on a cross and he mocked Jesus Christ himself. And he also had depictions of Lucifer in that video. And I think that's when people had it. They were done with the shock value. They were done with all of the crazy images that he was just so, pushing so hard to put out. And Lil Nas X EP Days Before Dream Boy, which is supposed to precede his 2025 release second album, Dream Boy, didn't do too bad, but it didn't do as well as he anticipated. And it was rumored that Columbia Records wanted him to scrap the entire idea of his newly released album to come out in 2025. We don't even know if it's still coming out. Dream Boy, for whatever reasons, he's having some difficulties with the record label. But I think due to all of the antics that Lil Nas X had within the past like 3.5 years, people just silently canceled him. They just silently, you know, weren't entertained by all of the performative things that he was doing in order to gain and garner that attraction and that attention that he was trying to, you know, gain for himself. He also did a video earlier, like this year, I believe it was, or last year, where he called it his flop era. So he has acknowledged that he is not doing too well when it comes to his music career. But at the end of the day, I just hope he gets the help he needs. And I hope things turn around and he sees what mistakes he...
The internet is completely divided on this one, split right down the middle. One side is screaming karma as they repost old clips of Montero sliding down that stripper pole into hell, editing them side by side with the latest headlines about felony charges. To them, it's all some twisted full circle moment and they're eating it up. The other side is begging for compassion, saying this isn't karma, this isn't divine punishment, this is clearly a young man cracking under the insane weight of fame and pressure. And right in the middle of all that chaos, the memes? Twitter went into overdrive. People were cracking jokes left and right.
So I thought I was done with this conversation, but more videos keep coming out from that night or morning that he was hospitalized and then arrested. So the latest 2 videos that have been released via TMZ, and they are TMZ exclusives, with that's why I'm just like, what is going on? Like, that's why I'm so on the fence about, like, is this real? Is this not? Like, I don't know. But in one video, Lil Nas X is completely butt naked, and he's rapping Nicki Minaj's verse on Monster, which, listen, y'all know I can't stand that lady and I eat her up every chance I get. But one thing I have never done is deny her talent, and her verse on Monster, like, eats down. One of the best verses ever. But anyways, he's rapping her part just butt naked in the street, being recorded by a fan. And then in the other video, he's taking pictures with a fan. Like, I don't know. And it's sad that I'm not gonna speak for nobody but myself. It's sad that I'm questioning whether this is real or not, but he's trolled so much in the past and done things for rollouts where it's like, it's kind of like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Like, so I don't know, but regardless, prayers to Lil Nas X, like I keep saying, and I definitely hope that. Prayers to him.
Old Town Road to the Old County Jail. Industry baby turned into inmate baby. The internet turned his pain into punchlines within hours, proving once again that when a celebrity falls, the timeline treats it like entertainment instead of a cry for help. But while strangers online are laughing, his family isn't finding anything funny. His father, Robert Stafford, broke his silence in an emotional interview that had fans shook. He didn't sugarcoat it. He called the arrest the ultimate price of fame. He described walking into that jail to see his son broken down, exhausted, crying, and scared out of his mind. Stafford opened up about how Montero has been drowning under the pressure of superstardom while also carrying heavy family trauma on his back, including his mother's long struggle with addiction. To him, this wasn't karma. It wasn't trolling gone wrong. It wasn't some PR stunt spiraling out of control. This was his child consumed by the industry, breaking down for the whole world to see. Back in that courtroom, the scene was nothing like the Lil Nas X fans are used to seeing on stage. Witnesses said he shuffled in with his head down, no designer drip, no diamond-studded grill, none of the loud outfits he's famous for. Instead, it was straight beige jail khakis, dark circles under his eyes, and the look of somebody who had been through hell that weekend. The superstar energy was gone. This was Montero Hill, the man, facing the system with nothing to hide behind. The district attorney came in swinging, making sure the court knew that 3 officers walked away injured during that scuffle. They painted him as reckless and violent. His defense attorney fired back, trying to flip the script, telling the judge this wasn't about violence. This was a mental health crisis fueled by stress, pressure, and maybe even substances. They framed him as a young star cracking under the spotlight, not a criminal out to hurt anyone. But the judge? She wasn't here for theatrics. She laid down the rules with a cold tone. Rehab conditions, mandatory check-ins, Narcotics Anonymous meetings. She even warned him flat out that if he slipped once, his bail could be yanked and he'd be sitting in custody until trial. Lil Nas X didn't say much, just nodded quietly. His next big date with the court? September 15th, and all eyes are already locked on what goes down that day. And while the courtroom drama unfolds, the celebrity world is buzzing too. Some stars stepped up with sympathy. A couple rappers and singers hit Twitter with messages like, "Don't clown this, y'all watched him spiral." They were basically saying the industry saw the breakdown coming, but chose to sit back and enjoy the show until it got ugly. But others weren't nearly as soft. Some voices came in cold, tweeting things like, "This is what happens when you sell shock instead of substance." That hit hard, because it wasn't just random critics saying it. Even some of his own industry peers started to whisper that maybe, just maybe, all the trolling finally backfired. And here's the cold reality. Trolling is the foundation of Lil Nas X's brand. He wasn't just a singer, he was a master internet player. He built his empire by making headlines out of chaos, turning memes into marketing, and baiting his haters with outrageous stunts that guaranteed viral moments. Religious backlash? He flipped it into press. Internet outrage? He spun it into streams and sales. For years, it worked like magic. But now, that same trolling blueprint that made him a superstar is circling back like a boomerang. The internet is recycling every shocking move he ever made. The stripper pole to hell, the J. Christ rollout, the blood-soaked sneakers, and reframing it as proof that this downfall was inevitable. Every old clip, every controversial lyric, every outrageous moment is now being used as Exhibit A in the case against him, like receipts for a crash everyone claims they saw coming. And if we're keeping it real, this isn't the first time we've watched a superstar unravel right in front of the cameras. We've seen this play before. Kanye West spiraling in real time, Amanda Bynes making headlines for breakdowns, even Britney Spears in 2007 when she shaved her head and the world turned her pain into tabloid gold. The industry knows exactly what a public meltdown looks like. It's a cycle that keeps repeating, and every time the audience plays along like it's just another form of entertainment. Fans recognize it too. They've seen this story unfold with other celebrities, and now they're asking themselves, is Lil Nas X the latest name on that list? Is this just another chapter in Hollywood's endless book of breakdowns? Or is there something deeper, something darker happening behind the curtain? The question lingers heavy. Do we keep laughing at the memes, or do we admit this is bigger than a stunt gone wrong? Because let's strip away the memes, the jokes, and the trolling for a second. At the core of this mess is a 25-year-old man staring down prison time, court-ordered rehab, and the brutal reality that his career might never bounce back. This isn't just a viral moment anymore. This is a superstar who once broke records with Old Town Road now being dragged across the internet as a walking cautionary tale. The glow-up that once made him untouchable is now being flipped into a warning sign for every rising artist watching from the sidelines. His critics are doubling down, pointing to every past controversy and crowing, "Karma finally came knocking." His father, on the other hand, is pleading with the world to see the tragedy of a young man buckling under the weight of fame. And his fans, they're stuck in the middle, praying he can survive this storm long enough to tell his story on his own terms. For them, it's not about punishment or payback. It's about hoping Lil Nas X makes it out alive. Because let's be clear, this story isn't just about one wild meltdown on Ventura Boulevard. It's about the real cost of fame, the dangerous weight of building your brand on trolling, and how brutally fast the internet can flip on you the second the spectacle stops being funny. Lil Nas X set out to shock the world, and he absolutely did. From hellbound music videos to blood-soaked sneakers, from viral stunts to courtroom headlines. But now, that same shock factor that made him unstoppable is threatening to swallow him whole. The question hanging heavy in the air is this: can Lil Nas X survive the fallout, rebuild, and somehow flip this chaos back into power? Or are we witnessing the tragic final act of one of music's boldest stars? The boy who once rode his horse down Old Town Road and laughed his way to the top might be facing the end of the ride for real. So let me throw it back to you. Is this the universe serving up karma for all those years Lil Nas X mocked religion and trolled the church? Or is this simply a young man collapsing under the crushing weight of fame, pressure, and mental health struggles that no amount of viral hits could cover up? Do you honestly think he's got a shot at bouncing back and reclaiming his spot in the game? Or has the internet already stamped his downfall and written his final chapter for him? I want to hear what you think. Drop your takes in the comments below and don't hold back. And if you're here for the raw, unfiltered breakdowns of stories the blogs won't give you straight, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss the next messy update. Because one thing's for sure, this Lil Nas X saga, oh, it's far from over.